Alright, let's do this. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Rob the Accountant. I like to help people build companies while finding solutions to problems that may come your way. Excuse me. Have a question? Stop by robtheaccountant.com, scroll halfway down, and shoot me an email. How's everybody doing today? I am driving around, working, and I'm kind of bored, and I really don't have a lot to say, but I figure there's a couple things I will say. First, our governor in New York State, the wonderful Governor Kathy Hochul. You know, I know a police officer died. You know, I get all that, but to me it's like, you know, whether it's the Democrats or whether it's Republicans, we seem to be trapped in this whole idea of religious identity, which is really bothersome to me, and it's bothersome to me as a believer. You know, and I don't even want to say the word Christian because that has so many different meanings today. I just really believe in the love of Christ. And so, you know, what would be better for me, instead of my governor wearing, I don't even know what it's called. I'm sorry. I got friends who are Muslim, and, you know, I don't really mind, but it's just like, you know, here in America, our women don't wear those things. And, you know, the leaders of our state, who happen to also be women, who happen to be, you know, screaming every time there's a position that they don't like, that they feel is unequal to them relative to men. It just seems, why be subservient to an ideology that, you know, right or wrong, whatever anyone's belief is, does not allow women to express themselves freely. Now, you know, whatever you want to be in regards to expressing women and all that, that's not really my position. I'm just, you know, when you have a whole culture that, you know, dresses up and hides the beauty that God gave them, because I truly believe women are beautiful. So God gave us all eyes. So in my view, we should just be, you know, truthfully, we should all be naked, but, you know, that's never going to happen. But and I don't want people to go, oh, you're so weird. No, I'm just saying women are beautiful. I don't think they're meant to be covered up. And what we have is just, you know, it's just pandering. You know, and it's pandering at a time when an officer was killed for really zero reasons, no reason whatsoever. He wasn't killed because he was whatever his religion is. I don't want to misspeak on his name. He's no longer with us. Just rather pray for him. But I just, you know, the governor pandering and all the politicians going and whatever they're doing, I think sometimes it just gets lost on the service that these people put in their daily lives for the rest of us. You know, and some of them can be jerks at times. Let's not, you know, we're not saying that. But for the most part, 99.99% of them are just trying to do a job. Now, on to Trump. Yeah, I don't know where Trump's gone. He's just gone off the deep end on so many issues. I think immigrants or people who are here unlawfully should deal with that. I think going out and finding ways to deport people who are here operating lawfully and are doing nothing is highly un-American. I also think that the Democrats already pushing 2028 candidates. And by the way, if we're going to go on that method, I'm going to continue to say, you know, Rob knows best. And you know, I know everyone will say, oh, you don't know shit and you don't know best. But you know what? I do know best. You know, I know how to leave people alone, and I know how to treat people fairly, and I know how to not put one group ahead of another, and I know how to just be a good citizen. And that if we're going to elect the next president, then we select the person who's going to put real people first, comes up from real people who We tried the billionaire. We tried the, we're a black guy from the middle of Kansas and we're going to cater. We've tried all that. We've tried the Democrat from the South. None of that's worked, right? They all seem to be corrupted. And I just think the orphan who knows no love would do best. I think also the fact that I've been seeing people's taxes for so long, it's just a crock of shit what our government takes from everybody, and that's a different issue. But I just really wanted to say hello to everybody. I'm disappointed in Trump. I'm disappointed in this police state, but I'm actually really proud of the black people in this country. Because there's been a lot of trying to pick at the wounds. Like Trump trying to say that black people should go to the farms. I don't think black people, other than like in the pre-Civil War area, were farmers. That's really not our thing. We invent blues, and again, I'm Puerto Rican, but if you're brown in America, you're black, so it don't matter. But we've done anything but just be in the fields. Probably built more than half the country. On that, I'm generally not for reparations, but I was listening to Martin Luther King the other day, and it is interesting that, they always focus him on his dream. I have a dream, and the dream that we should all be free and judge a man by the content of his character and, not the color of his skin. But what they leave out of there is that he actually was really complaining fundamentally about, all the, farmers and people who didn't have any, they weren't given any land. Like the country in the early days, the Americans and the American government gave out land. It gave out land, and it gave out land grants for people to develop those land grants. And, it left a whole class of citizen, a whole race of citizenships out of that equation. These are just fundamental facts. It is what it is. It's not untrue. And so what you do, it's just an interesting point that when you focus merely on his dream and not actually the content of what his dream envisioned, you do a disservice to black people as a whole, because there was 150 years where this government was 100% funding the expansion of the West. It was giving away land, but not to niggers. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe we got to address that with all the land that's out there from a federal government position. I would be totally for like some type of reparations that gave land to minorities, but I don't want to be giving money to anybody, and I don't want to tax anybody, black, white, or green, or red, whatever your skin color is. I don't want to tax you for the sins of other people. That's just so stupid. I don't know. I don't know how we get around that. But if the federal government wants to relinquish some of its acreage because it is the largest landholder in the world, I could see that being viable. Hey, some land in the forest or wherever it may be is better than no land. So, second of all, I went to this cheap store, and this is about being cheap. I should have just bought some nice hair clippers off of Amazon, but I saw these ones. I don't want to tell the store because I like the store. And I went to cut my hair. It said it had a 1/2 inch or 1.5 inch guard. That was no 1.5 inch guard. It took off all my hair. So we're trying to grow the wig back in. The mayor of New York City, the mayor's race, I like that guy. It's so weird on one end that I hear, what's her name, Jean Pirro, from whatever her role is in the Trump administration. She goes down to D.C. and then she says, whatever's going to happen in Cincinnati with that girl getting locked out, which is just terrible. We're not going to tolerate this violence, and we're going to deal with you from justice, and you'll go away for a long time. And it's like, well, okay, if we believe in all that here for Americans, well, why the fuck don't we believe in that shit for everybody? Like, all over the world? Like, if you're so upset and mad, okay, about that shit, which was awful in Cincinnati, and what goes on in D.C. is awful, and the soldiers shooting the other soldiers is awful. All these things are awful. Violence is awful. If you are against violence, which most people in America are against violence, hopefully are most people in America are against violence, then how can you sit there and idly watch it be delivered to other people? And how can you sit there and know that it is your taxes and your money funding the destruction of other people literally losing their children's, their families, generations of their families in Palestine? So there's enough people speaking on that issue. I was speaking on this issue in stuff that I was writing at onevoiceonelife.wordpress.com, onevoiceonelife.wordpress.com since pre-Obama. So it's just nice that, you know, it's working its way out. But what really just needs to be worked its way out is that the world needs to play by the golden rule. I mean, it's that simple. Do unto others as you want other people to do unto you. I mean, I don't know what a better quote is. I mean, theoretically, that should be in the Constitution. So, Texas. Redistricting. Yeah. You know, it just goes to show that whether it's all blue Democrats in Massachusetts, New York, or all red Republicans in Texas and South Carolina and most of the South, our politicians just, they write the rules to keep themselves in power. To me, you take a freaking state, you cut it up in a divisible number, and you block it off. You know, in a real statistical approach to redistricting, and creating congressional seats, why don't we let AI do that shit, right? You know, it's like AI can take the accountant's job, AI can take your job, AI is going to come in here and steal everything. But the one thing that it should be actually doing, AI should be involved in, fucking congressional mapping. Oh, well, no, AI's jumped there. It's got a bias. The fuck are you people talking about? Like, where the fuck is AI for redistricting? Like, it's wrong that we have all blue in New York. It's wrong that we have all blue in Massachusetts. It's all wrong that we have all red in Texas. It's all wrong that we have all red in South Carolina. And nobody gives a shit. And they just call special elections just to redistrict. And the Democrats, you guys are, I mean, I don't know even why you call yourself a Democrat in Texas. You got no power. It's like calling yourself a Republican in New York, which again marginalizes people. All these people pushing this one party rule in every state should be taken out and tar and fucking feathered. I'm so fucking tired of it. It's just cover my pocket, and, you know, it's about me and my family and nobody else. And while I'm at it, give me the fucking health care, give me the fucking pension, give me all the money, give me all the perks, and give me the right to treat everybody else like a piece of shit because, you know, I'm better than everybody. And I'm just tired of it. So, AOC for president, out the door. Fuck that shit. Gavin Newsom, out the door for presidents. I mean, how can you elect a person who moves Americans out of his own city to suck, well, you know what, of the president of China? And I don't care. China's going to work with America regardless of who the president is. America's going to work with China regardless of who the president is. These are things that are just going to happen regardless. So, but moving Americans out of the city for anybody when you can't help them, that's just wrong. So that's it. Maybe I got a few more things to say. I'm getting up to my location here. Woo! The weather's nice. I wish I had something more constructive to talk about, but I mean, we're only really 8 months into Trump's first term, and you got to let things work its way out before you start totally criticizing everything. But we definitely have somebody who is a little bit, just a little bit full of himself, and that's okay. We're going to have a gold White House when this is all done. I'm Rob. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye for now. Talk to you soon.